They want opportunities to play. They crave opportunities to play. But BDSM play and being submissive are two very different things. If that connection doesn't feel good, correction will be ineffective because feelings are very real and they play a large role in our experience as dominants and submissives. That's why I also think emotional regulation is super important in this discussion. When your dominant corrects you and that perfectionism wound comes up and you're tempted to get defensive, when your master calls you out on disrespectful behavior and your core wound of feeling defective and not good enough comes up and you want to hide and run? What about when your top leads you through a new type of play that unintentionally triggers you? What about when you ask to play but your dominant doesn't have time that day and your rejection sensitivity is activated and you want to brat and act out to get attention and validation? What about when your caregiver, who you are otherwise constantly attached to, has to go out of town on business for 2 weeks? What about when your daddy has to work late every night for a month to wrap up an important project at work and can't call you every night for an hour-long conversation and tuck in? When these things happen, and they will, how are you going to respond, submissives? How effectively can you self-soothe? How well can you identify your triggers and process them? How skilled are you at emotional regulation? And here's the thing. I'm going to drop a bomb on you here, okay? But here's the thing. Emotional regulation is directly related to safety and trust. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Emotional regulation is directly related, directly linked to safety and trust. How is this the case? Well, Jamie, my ASA, he's my little shadow, right? We've only spent the night apart once while he was in the hospital. He travels with me. He spoons with me every night. He wakes me up in the morning. We have a full daily routine, including scheduled feedings and walks and playtime and button training. Like, we have a very deep and loving connection, okay? Now, knowing that we both dislike being apart, I created a going away routine where I turned on birds for him to watch on TV and then stopped and got down on his level when I had to leave and said, I love you. I love you very much. I love you so much. I'll be back soon. I will always come back for you. I will never leave you. And hugs and kisses, and then lots of love when I come back. He gets to watch birds and hang out while I'm gone, all right? And I've been doing this for a while. And not once, not one time throughout the years have I returned to a mess or destruction or, he just terrorized the house, right? Not one time have I come back to that. He's able to rest in his emotional discomfort because of the trust we've built. And the same thing applies to submissives. The more you can trust the character, consistency, and care of your dominant, the easier it will be to process negative emotions when they come up. Now, a big part of emotional regulation, and our final point today, is balanced stimulation. This is one reason why I refer to BDSM as a kinky buffet. It's unwise to only put ice cream on your plate every time you hit the buffet. Okay, let's say ice cream in this analogy is some wax play, all right? Any wax players in the house, okay? If you knew going into your scene that every time it would include wax play, at some point, the wax play would lose its allure. It would become rote, predictable, and boring. It would also desensitize you to the pleasure that type of play can provide. That's why it's so important to keep things novel and fresh in your dynamic and play. And an effective way to do so includes balanced stimulation. Because here's the thing, submissives. Submission is not about a constant hit of arousal. Submission is not about a constant hit of arousal. The true heart of submission is yielding to the will of the one you trust and have deemed superior and qualified to lead you. That's the heart of submission. But from what I've encountered, it's a common belief that submissives deserve the opportunity to play in ways that are healthy and rewarding to their unique style of submission. All human beings deserve to be treated with love and respect, submissives absolutely included. But play is play, for fun, a hobby, a pastime. Now, just because this hobby is deeply integrated into your lifestyle doesn't change what it is. It's play. When we talk about this in the context of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's built like a pyramid. And at the top of the pyramid is self-actualization, self-realization, okay? And that's the level that BDSM is on. Everything below that is about basic needs that must be in existence before that play, that self-actualization to take place. And so with that in mind, no, I don't feel that submissives inherently deserve opportunities for play. And this goes back to the all positive dog training scenario that we already discussed. They want opportunities to play. They crave opportunities to play. But BDSM play and being submissive are two very different things. And this is my belief because if kinky play is a need, which a submissive is constantly entitled to, then the dominant partner is objectified beneath the submissive's entitlement to play, and the entire structure of the power exchange is completely in jeopardy. And it causes a me versus you mentality. That's incredibly damaging, not only to the dynamic, but to the dominant sense of worth and their mutual need to feel loved and respected in the relationship as a whole. Essentially, if kinky play is an entitlement that can be demanded as a need from a submissive, authentic dominance ceases to exist, and the partner is instead rendered a service top to be used as the submissive's kink dispenser. And this negates any true sense of submission, patience, humility, and yielding to the will of a dominant. Picking up what I'm throwing down? So if you feel like this might be happening in your dynamic, and you're like, what do I do about this? How do I save my relationship from toppling under the weight of this confusion and manipulation, okay? If that's you, you do not want to miss my new submissive training bundle on Patreon, all right? This resource contains 8 exclusive downloads, including 3 brand new guides: a dominance guide to deepen devotion, a dominance guide to tackling trauma triggers, and 8 dog training techniques for effective behavior modification. Just go over to patreon.com/LXerotica to get instant access. And be sure you're subscribed and have those notifications turned on, because next week I'm starting the practical how-to part of this series with a step-by-step guide to teach you dominants how to navigate 6 of the most common challenges you'll face in your DS dynamic.